They say, "We are so poor that even our breath is not our own, and yet so rich, because the Lord of the universe belongs to us." There was a great saint who lived long ago by the river. His life was very simple. Every day he would wake up with the sunrise. He would jump into the river and cleanse himself. Then he would chant the name of the divine. He would teach his disciples and spend his days in prayer. This was his rhythm, day after day, unbroken, steady, silent. One morning, before the sun had risen, he saw a radiant figure standing on the path. It was an angel. In his hand, he was holding a small diary. The saint went to him and asked, "What is written in that book, my friend?" The angel smiled and said, "It contains the names of those who love God." The saint felt a surge of curiosity. He looked through the pages, line after line, name after name, but his own name was not there. He closed the diary, bowed to the angel, and walked away without complaint. All day he continued his prayers as before, with the same peace, the same devotion. The next morning the angel came again. "Will you not read today?" he asked. The saint opened the diary again, and there, on the very first page, at the very top, was his own name. The saint looked up in surprise. "Yesterday my name was absent. Today it is written first. Does the Lord keep two diaries?" The angel smiled and said, "Yesterday's book held the names of those who love God, but today's book holds the names of those whom God loves." Tears welled up in the saint's eyes. He fell to the ground and whispered, "O Lord, if yesterday I had lost my patience, if I had doubted you, perhaps you would have hidden your grace from me forever. But my faith did not waver, and now I see you never forgot me. You were writing me into your own heart." Brothers and sisters, listen carefully. This is not the story of a saint alone. It is the story of each one of us. When life does not give us what we desire, when our prayers seem unheard, we grow restless, we complain, we distance ourselves from the divine. But the truth is this: God never distances himself from us. Even when you forget him, he remembers you. Even when you stop calling his name, he still whispers yours. So hold on to faith, even in silence, even in delay, even in the dark night. Because one day, you too will find your name written in his diary. We often live in a state of unrest, don't we? Our minds are filled with desires, our hearts heavy with expectations. When these desires are not fulfilled, we feel upset, even offended. Sometimes we question God's love. Sometimes we blame him for our troubles. But what if the reason for our discontentment is not God's silence, but our own misunderstanding? What if our prayers are answered in ways we do not expect? What if God's silence is not a rejection, but a redirection? Like the saint by the river, we too can find solace in the rhythm of our daily lives, in the routine that gives us some sense of order and peace. Like him, we can turn to prayer, to meditation, to the practices that connect us to something greater than ourselves. And just as the saint's name appeared in the divine diary, so too will our faith be rewarded. But this reward may not always come in the form we expect. It may not fit into our plans or our time frame. It may not look like the answer to our initial prayer, yet it will be an answer nonetheless. This story teaches us to trust in the silence, to listen to the whispers of our soul, to have faith in the journey, not just the destination. It reminds us that God's ways are not our ways, that his silence is not an end, but often a beginning. It encourages us to hold on to our faith, to keep our hearts open, to remain calm in the face of life's storms, because one day we will find our names written not just in a heavenly diary, but in the very fabric of existence. So the next time you hear this story, remember not just the saint or the angel, but your own soul. Remember the whispers of faith that guide you through the darkness, the tiny miracles that light up your path, the moments of joy that make life worth living. For these are the signs of God's love, and they are all around you.